Kind of what really spurred us on was we were in a really bad car accident before we had kids, and lucky to survive. And so the day, basically, after we crawled out of the wreck, the first thing I said was, I'm quitting my job and we're gonna farm full time. So that was kind of like
made the decision.
That was like a cosmic eureka type moment of like, this is what's important, and we're gonna
do it.
We're gonna go for it.
Make it work.
One of the largest things I see is their willingness to share with everybody, with the neighbors, what they do with the community, and teach how to be a small farmer like this. I think that's the biggest thing that points out why we had chose to put them into the Small Farmer of the Year.
The name Trosly Farm comes from a town in France. Hero of ours, Jean Vanier, lived there. He was kind of an inspirational figure for us that was really about, loving other people, recognizing everybody's ability to contribute to society.
Trying to celebrate together as much as possible.
And celebrate life. And so the name for the farm comes from that town. We were joking last year for the CSA Community Supported Agriculture. We were saying we've done the agriculture part for a couple years now, and this is the year we're going to focus on the community part. And so that was really important, especially this past year, to have a couple different days scheduled on the calendar for the CSA members to come. And so they see what we're doing here, where their food's coming from. That's been really good for us. It helps actually build community.
The technique of farming and how they choose crops and how they like to inform and teach the public how to small farm and how to come back to learn to grow your own crops. I think that was the main thing I saw right away with this couple. They enjoy in teaching and involving the community in how to be a small farmer.
We sit on less than 5 acres with everything that we have in production. Primarily greenhouse production of tomatoes, greens, lettuces, some livestock, hogs, pullets, and dairy cow for our family. And
goats.
Some goats for fun. So.
And they make it look easy. They live, you breathe this business. They work it constantly. Very free with sharing their information with Extension. We had a couple of workshops here. Everybody that comes in here is just impressed at how you can grow food.
This broad fork, trying to move toward lower tech, and it's become easier every year to use the fork and lift the soil, but it doesn't invert the soil, which is really important because we're not bringing up any of the clay or the seeds that would become weed pressure later on. It just opens up the beds. It helps put a lot of oxygen into the bed.
They say if you really enjoy, you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And that showed through so much here. They really enjoyed what they do.
When we hear other people ask us questions, or like they're kind of amazed that this is actually what we do, it helps us to remember
how important it is.
How we've really tried to make it work so we can have food that we feed our kids and ourselves and our neighbors. So
it's hard to imagine doing something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is what we want to do.
Yeah.